Dermatology, the physiology of the skin. Thermoregulation. The integumentary system, or skin, helps regulate body temperature through its tight association with the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is continuously monitoring body temperature and initiating appropriate motor responses. When the body becomes warm, sweat glands, accessory structures in the skin, secrete water, salt, and other substances to cool the body. Even when the body does not appear to be noticeably sweating, approximately 500 mils of sweat are secreted a day. If the body becomes excessively warm due to high temperatures, vigorous activity, or a combination of the two, sweat glands will be stimulated by the sympathetic nervous system to produce large amounts of sweat. When the sweat evaporates from the skin surface, the body is cooled as body heat is dissipated. In addition to sweating, arterioles in the dermis dilate so that excess heat carried by the blood can dissipate through the skin and into the surrounding environment. This accounts for the skin redness that many people experience when exercising. When body temperatures drop, the arterioles constrict to minimize heat loss, particularly in the ends of the digits and tips of the nose. This reduced circulation can result in the skin taking on a whitish hue. Although the temperature of the skin drops as a result, passive heat loss is prevented, and internal organs and structures remain warm. If the temperature of the skin drops too much, such as when the environmental temperatures drop below freezing, the conservation of body core heat can result in frostbite. Vitamin D synthesis. Vitamin D is essential for general immunity against bacterial, viral, and fungal infections. The epidermal layer of human skin makes vitamin D when exposed to UV radiation. In the presence of sunlight, a form of vitamin D3 called cholecalciferol is synthesized from a derivative of the steroid cholesterol in the skin. The liver converts cholecalciferol to calcidiol, which is then converted to calcitriol, the active chemical form of the vitamin, in the kidneys. Vitamin D is essential for normal absorption of calcium and phosphorus, which are required for healthy bones. The absence of sun exposure can lead to a lack of vitamin D in the body. In children, this can cause rickets. Vitamin D deficiency in elderly individuals may lead to osteomalacia. In present-day society, vitamin D is added as a supplement to many foods, including milk and orange juice, compensating for the need for sun exposure. In addition to its essential role in bone health, vitamin D is essential for general immunity against bacterial, viral, and fungal infections. Accessory structures of the skin. Accessory structures of the skin include hair, nails, sweat glands, and sebaceous glands. These structures embryologically originate from the epidermis and can extend down through the dermis to the hypodermis. The hair is a keratinous filament growing out of the epidermis. It is primarily made of dead keratinized cells. Strands of hair originate in an epidermal penetration of the dermis called the hair follicle. The hair shaft is the part of the hair not anchored to the follicle, and much of this is exposed at the skin's surface. The rest of the hair, which is anchored in the follicle, lies below the surface of the skin and is referred to as the hair root. The hair root ends deep in the dermis at the hair bulb and includes a layer of mitotically active basal cells called the hair matrix. The hair bulb surrounds the hair papillae, which is made of connective tissue and contains blood capillaries and nerve endings from the dermis. Hair function. When frightened, the erector pili muscle is responsible for your hair standing on end. The same is true when a cat's fur is raised. Hair serves a variety of functions, including protection, sensory input, thermoregulation, and communication. For example, hair on the head protects the skull from the sun. Hair in the nose and ears and around the eyes or eyelashes defends the body by trapping and excluding dust particles that may contain allergens and microbes. Hair of the eyebrows prevents sweat and other particles from dripping into and bothering the eyes. Hair also has sensory function due to sensory innervation by a hair root plexus surrounding the base of each hair follicle. Hair is extremely sensitive to air movement and other disturbances in the environment, much more so than the skin surface. This feature is also useful for the detection of the presence of insects or other potentially damaging substances on the skin surface. Each hair root is connected to a smooth muscle called the erector pili that contracts in response to nerve signals from the sympathetic nervous system, making the external hair shaft stand up. The primary purpose for this is to trap a layer of air to add insulation. This is visible in humans as goosebumps and even more obvious in animals, such as when a frightened cat raises its fur. Of course, this is much more obvious in organisms with a heavier coat than with most humans, such as dogs and cats. Hair growth, loss, and color. Hair growth is eventually shed and replaced by new hair. Hair typically grows at a rate of 0.3 millimeters per day. On average, 50 hairs are lost and replaced per day. Hair loss occurs if there is more hair shed than what is replaced and can happen due to hormonal or dietary changes. Hair loss can also result from the aging process or the influence of hormones. Similar to the skin, hair gets its color from the pigment melanin produced by melanocytes in the hair papillae. Different hair color results from differences in the type of melanin. As a person ages, the melanin production decreases, and hair tends to lose its color and becomes gray and or white. Nails. The nail bed is a specialized structure of the epidermis that is found at the tips of our fingers and toes. The nail bed is formed on the nail bed and protects the tips of our fingers and toes, as they are the farthest extremities and the parts of the body that experience the maximum mechanical stress. The nail body forms a back support for picking up small objects with the fingers. The nail body is composed of densely packed dead keratinocytes. The epidermis in this part of the body has evolved a specialized structure upon which nails can form. The nail body forms at the nail root, which has a matrix of proliferating cells from the stratum basale that enables the nail to grow continuously. The lateral nail fold overlaps the nail on the sides, helping to anchor the nail body. The nail fold that meets the proximal end of the nail body forms a nail cuticle, also called the eponychium. The nail bed is rich in blood vessels, making it appear pink, except at the base, where a thick layer of epithelium over the nail matrix forms a crescent-shaped region called the lunula, or the little moon. It is the area beneath the free edge of the nail, furthest from the cuticle. It is called the hyponychium. It consists of a thick layer of the stratum corneum.